Moon silenced the tongue of my dead lover. His ghost hovers and is gone. Light fills the tiny room as I shiver. My soul elevates, expanding the contours of my body, until, like a balloon, I float to meet the clouds. Mobs of bats blacken the twilight, and stars form scars across the skin of the sky. My lover is nothing now, no trace remains on the road map of my life. At first I weep, rivulets forming rivers and oceans. I set sail on the sea of tears for destinations unknown. My soul grows larger still, infiltrating universes, dodging black holes. The sun sets and rises, a new day. My sorrow is flushed away, now only a speck on the horizon. The sun swallows it. I have arrived. So I write these stream of consciousness poems, and then I paint the text, and then I start using images from the text, and I layer the images with the words, so it takes on a life of its own. And I just wrote a poem, so that's one series that I'm working on. They're just fun to do, you know, and I like to write, so I like to combine it with a visual image. Well, I'm Jane. I'm a painter, but I also do works on paper and collages. I am from New York City, and I have a studio practice here in Mexico City for the past 2.5 years. So I've been working in my studio practice for 4 decades, which dates me. Yeah, I've had studios mainly in New York City. And in 2021, I made the decision to move to Mexico. So my sister and I moved together because she left her job, and she had friends who had moved to Merida and bought property and built a house, and it was really inexpensive, so we thought, oh, we'll do the same. And I'd always been drawn to Mexico. I'd come here in 1997, and I really loved it, and I loved the vibrancy of Mexico City and the culture and art and color everywhere, and so we moved. I feel like it's a good painting, but I'm not quite getting the nail on the head with it, and part of it is maybe because I did a series of paintings this summer that were kind of using like a grid of colors and then working images into the colors, and the images kind of form this non-linear narrative. And with this one, like the taped areas, those bright pink areas, kind of compartmentalize the images a bit too much for me. Like, so I like the painting and I want to keep it the way it is, but that inspires me for the next painting to not compartmentalize it as much. So like one painting informs the next. But I can just find, no, here it is. So I started with these collages. So what I did was I painted like areas of color that I picked up from the collage, just like a kind of loose grid of color. And then I started painting images, and some of them come directly from the collage, but then others just take over intuitively. So like that's that painting. He just influences me in terms of like freedom to create, freedom to be true to yourself, you know, and just paint what moves you and what interests you and what your passion is, and with the hope that other people will also find it, you know, inspiring and moving. But, you know, you have to be true to yourself, I believe, as an artist. And he really was. And I mean, look at these, they're just amazing. I just love them. Painting takes a lot out of you, or it takes a lot out of me. So I need to refuel. Sometimes that's with coffee, sometimes that's looking at art, and sometimes it's both. They also, some of them have collage in them, so like areas like this, that's collage. And you know, the areas of, separate areas of color are more dissolved in this too than they were in this. But yeah, there's collage, little mini paintings that I did that I collaged into the surface. That little bird up there. And another little flower painting that I collaged into the surface. And then there's this weird quadruple ear with flowers growing out of it, which is like a strange kind of image. But like this is collaged, this bird, this weird bird. And this area is collaged. They're cut up old paintings. So I like to do that too. This is collaged. So this really shows very much the free association. Yeah. One thing kind of leads into another and creates this kind of dream logic and kind of interrupts the grid of the colors. I didn't even have to think like what I was going to do or major in or what I was going to do with my life. I was just like, I'm an artist, so that's what I'm going to do. So I've always had that in good times, bad times, times when working full time, working in the studio full time. I've always had art, traveling around the world, you know, bringing art with me, and yeah, I've always done it. And I'll always do it.